Hey y'all, Mr. Bolin here, and right now this is a video tutorial on how to color simple line drawings. So this is like our basic start with Photoshop and drawing. So what I've done is I went onto the almighty Google here and I just typed in simple cartoon drawing. I'm looking for a black and white or line drawing kind of thing. So I'm going to right click on this one and copy the image, and then here's my selected one, but I'm going to start from scratch. And so I'm going to choose just a normal piece of paper size um, canvas. And so 8.5 by 11 is fine. Resolution 72 is perfect. This is practice, so we don't want to make anything like huge on file size. So here's my canvas. So I'm going to hit Control and V, and that pastes my image, okay, on another layer. So it's not on the background layer itself. So I can click that, and I don't see anything about the background layer. You notice I've got the little boxes, the indicators here, and I'm using my wife's computer because my personal laptop is just interestingly enough, we just absolutely will not run Adobe Photoshop. So that's how old it is. But in order to get those transform controls on her laptop, it's this icon up here at the top. Um, so on yours, it'll probably have a little box. It'll just say show transform controls. Okay. And the only way you can see that is if you are in the move tool, and that's the top tool here that looks like a plus, double arrows. Okay. You can also get to it by clicking the V key on your keyboard. Okay. So V equals the move tool. Click on show transform controls. And then I am just going to reduce its size here and line it up somewhere in the middle with my on my canvas. There's the check mark or the minus. So in order for you to do anything else, you have to hit the enter key or the check mark. And here I'll get rid of the transform control, so I'll get rid of that box. Now you see these little checker marks in the background, and says transparency. Okay, but the picture itself is not transparent. So, in order to um, get that or get this background transparent, what we have to do is select. And one easy way is we can use the magic wand tool. I'm just going to select anywhere. It selected the entire outside of my figure. Okay. And then I'm going to come up here to select at the very top, click that, and then come down to similar. So what it's going to do essentially here is select everything that is similar to the background, which is white. Okay. So anything similar to that is going to be selected. And then for right now, I'm just going to hit delete. Now, that's called destructive editing. So I'm actually removing something from the picture, and that's not necessarily kosher. That's why we have the other controls down here um, at the bottom that we would basically mask over the top, select and mask. Okay, so here I'm going to hit the delete key, and boom, all of my white area is gone. That's pretty nice, leaving only the black. And then, but everything is still selected, which is kind of a pain there. So I'm going to hit Control plus the letter D, which is deselect. Okay. So here I am. I've got a full on layer. This is the only layer, layer one. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to name this one drawing. Okay. And so and hit enter. So this would be the original drawing. Now, if I'm going to, um, like our first project was tracing and learning about kind of your brushes in that, I would come down here to this one. I would add a new layer above, and I might name that one um, my line drawing. Okay, so you can distinguish it. So we've got the original drawing and then my line drawing. And then what I can do here is I can click on the original drawing, change the opacity, Remember, we can drop that down to like 50 or 30 something, where you can just barely see it, so that when you are drawing over the top of it, your lines show up. Okay. So I'm going to skip over that step for right now. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to come back to the drawing, make my opacity all the way up to 100. Okay. So, but this is about like coloring. So, um, let's say for instance, my line drawing, I have that one already drawn in. I would click the original drawing button so that the um, that that drawing would disappear. Doesn't mean it's gone, just disappears. Okay, like that. And then I would be using only my line drawing. But in that case, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's pretend I'm going to get rid of this one, but I'm going to pretend that this drawing layer is the one that I drew. Okay, we agree? Okay, so I'm going to add another layer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down underneath the drawing layer. And this is the layer. We're going to put in multiple layers, but these will be the layers that we're coloring. Okay, so in this one, I'm going to start with the t-shirt. I'm just going to name it t-shirt. Okay, pretty simple. All right, and what I need to do now is I'm going to hit Control plus, maybe one more. There we go. So we can see the t-shirt a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to go to my magic wand tool again, which is otherwise known as W on your keyboard, and I'm going to click in this. Oh, I got to go to my drawing. Sorry, I do this every time. So somebody's going to do this too. So I'm on the t-shirt layer. There's nothing in the t-shirt layer. See, there's nothing there. So if I click on something, there's nothing to click on. There's nothing there. So I have to go to my drawing layer. Now I can click on this. Let's see here. I'll do this. Now I can click on this central and see, look, it's all highlighted now. Does that make sense? Here, I'll put on the background, which is white. Maybe you can see that a little easier. Okay. So just this space is selected. Now, word of caution, let's go up here to the hair. So should you have a selection that has a break, okay, the line doesn't connect 100%, okay, there's a break in there. If you click on the hair or wherever on your drawing that's not connected, it's kind of like water. This selection is going to pour through that break and select anything outside of that it can. All right, so it's possible that you have to go back in to your drawing and just make sure everything is closed up, okay, for this selection process. And this is just one way of coloring. This is just a basic coloring method. So, like everything we do, there's a lot that we can do differently. So I'm going to click the B on my keyboard, and now here you'll see using my digital pen, I've got a brush. Thank you, got it. Here's my brush size. Remember, we talked about, and again, wife's computer, so she doesn't have all the brushes that I have at school, but I'm going to use the chunky charcoal and see how that looks. So my mode is going to be normal. My opacity is at 100. I'm going to use that, which is the pressure sensitivity, and that one as well. My flow is at 90%. Now that can be a totally different. I can bring it at 100 or less. So these are things that we're supposed to be playing with before. My smoothing, I don't really need smoothing. It's not a line, but I'm going to bring it on anyway. So my size here says 60, and I don't want that, although that's probably plenty. So the cool thing about this drawing, so I've got the drawing over here on the right. It's highlighted. So if I'm in the brush mode, I can color. I can color within that. Okay. So I'm going to click Control Z. I'm going to choose a different color here. Now, because this is selected, That's what I'm coloring in. But if I go down to t-shirt, now what happens is if I do a layer for every part, I'm not like adding to this drawing layer. I'm adding to different layers. So I can always go back in and change the colors specifically within that t-shirt area. Okay. Does that make sense? So, um, the importance of that is that what if somewhere down the line, let's say you're doing a drawing and a customer says, well, I don't want that t-shirt to be blue like I have it now. Nope, I wanted it to be green. My daughter likes green t-shirts, and that's what this is supposed to be. So, or the character has a green t-shirt or purple or whatever. Then you'd have to go back to your, if you didn't have this extra layer, you'd have to go into your drawing layer and very carefully, like incredibly carefully, try to um, change that color. And it's a real pain. Okay. But now we have the t shirt, so we can automatically go to this, select just that t shirt, and then change the color. Okay. So the other cool thing is look, watch my brush. I'm way out here, nothing, 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 only. So only draws or only colors where I want it to color. Okay, kind of cool, huh? So again, I'm using a brush right now that doesn't. It's got some. Uh, it's not a flat brush. See, it's got some stuff. It's called charcoal. So I'm gonna go a little lighter in my. So I can put some pressure on. I can change how it looks. So depending on how you like to draw, kind of will work with that. So I'm going to come back over here and get a lighter color because we have this. Oh, look, we can change the opacity a little bit. All right, let's take it down to 60%. And so now, what I'm putting on is here. I'm putting on some light. So this is the cool thing is you can put layers and layers and layers on here. Okay, so really make this t-shirt or whatever you are drawing really kind of pop. Okay, because the more that you put in here, just like when you're drawing, the more layers you put on of a thing, the better it'll look. Okay, I'm going to change the color just a little bit, drop down my opacity here down to maybe 48, and I'm going to start putting in some like shadows. So there, see here, I got a shadow underneath the arm. All right, so here, da 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 da. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now, so again, I'm doing this really quick. You might be coming in, you're changing your brush size, your brush styles, um, multiple different types of color. What do we got here? Opacity, flow. I'm going to change my flow. So every time you do things like this, it's a little light color. Let's see. Oh, mode. There we are. Brush, opacity. Huh. Somehow I got the eraser. So see, things weren't looking right. See, I got the eraser. Here's my B again on my computer. So there's my brush. I go back in and change. Well, that just changed it right over. I don't know if you noticed that. Look, it went right back to the eraser. So again, little different, little crazy. So sometimes, just like you all are playing around with your computer and your styles and that, and so am I. Especially since I'm on, again, like I said, my wife's computer. Um, Everything's set up. Not everything is set up the way that I like it on my laptop or my computer in the classroom, right? So kind of cool, huh? All right. So we're gonna do that. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start to select. I'm gonna select the sleeves, this little collar thing here, and that sleeve. So in order, but I've got this other area selected, so I got to hit Control D, and now I deselect that stuff. All right. So, but if I come in here and I hold the Shift key down, I can click that. Oops. Why did that do that? Oh, I know why. Look where I'm at. I'm still on that layer. So I don't want to be on that layer. I want to be on the drawing layer now. Whew. Well, I tell you. All right. Hold the Shift key down. There. I got one. I got two. I got three. Boom. Go back to the t-shirt. Now I can put a new layer in and say collars and sleeves, or I can kind of leave it the way it is. And maybe I'll do that. I'll just leave it the way it is here. So here's brush. Gonna change that. Da, 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 da. Ooh yeah. Oh, I got this spot down here. I missed that one. This little line. So let me back. Same mistake as I just did. Don't learn very well, do I? Okay, come back to the t-shirt layer. Get my brush out. Da-da-da-da-da. Yay. All right. So back to my drawing layer. Select something. All right. Let me select the hair here. Okay. So now I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to take that layer and drop it down below the drawing. Why? Do you understand why I drop it down below? Because of the black lines of the drawing layer. If I put this above, okay, and I've got this area selected, if I'm drawing or coloring in here, essentially I'm coloring over the black lines, okay, and I don't want to do that. I want the black lines to show, so I'm going to put that in here. Double click that and say, just put it here. All right. So this one seems like it begs for some bright. No, we want some orange here. There we go. So we can take that. We're gonna put just a base layer. There we are. I'm on my hair. My hair is selected. Hair layer. Now it's got to be better than that because that was pretty boring. Boring hair. That yellow. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to add that. I'm going to go back to my opacity here. Pop a little bit of that in there. Make my brush size a bit smaller. Okay. Remember, you can hit the brackets. That's just to the right of the P on your keyboard. And click the right hand bracket, makes it bigger. Left hand bracket makes things smaller. I'm going to go here. And we're just going to like highlight some of these areas. Okay. Now I'm looking at this color and I'm like, wow, that's just poopy. That's not really good hair color. So I'm gonna go in there and keep playing with it, and see what I can come up with. All right. Maybe I don't like it at all. If I don't like it at all, that's fine. I can go in and absolutely change this type of hair. All right, or the color. So that is pretty much where I'm going to stop for this one. Remember, when you are done with this, like if you're doing the coloring, you have a couple options. I can like select, let's say we've got hair, and I'm going to select the hair and the t-shirt here. I can group these. I can click right click and group from layers, and I can name that coloring. Right, and hit enter, and now all my coloring stuff is neatly tucked into that one folder. Okay, so if I want to open it up, boom, there it is. I can close it. Okay, just like that. So when you are submitting these, this is an assignment again on Classroom. So when you are finished with this, all you have to do is come over here to File, Export, and you can do a quick export as a PNG. The nice thing about that, if you quickly export it as a PNG, as long as you keep it as a PNG file, all these remain the same. Okay, so it leaves these open for you to change. Could you save it as a Photoshop file? Just click save and turn it in that way. I think they've been working out lately, so you could possibly do that. But exporting it as a PNG file works just as well. Okay. Hope this was helpful for you, and we'll see you in class sometime soon.